What's up, guys? It's Nate FX Pro. I'm back, and we are going to go into lesson number 1 on Renko trading. So let's get right to it. So, what is Renko? Renko is a lot different than your average candlestick trading, right? So, your candlestick trading is what the average most traders trade. For me personally, Renko was the game changer. What has changed my trading? I wasn't a good candlestick trader, but when I went to Renko, that's kind of where everything kind of like changed for me. So, what is Renko? Renko has to do with bricks that are X amount of size. So, for starters, let's just go over why we even trade Renko. What's the cons? What's the pros? First, I would say the pros is it's a filter. It's nothing more than just a price action filter, right? So, for example, let's look at this move that was obviously a very buy move. I'm just going to say from the start and then to the end, right? So this is what it looks like on a Renko chart and then on a candle chart. That's the actual move. This is the actual move, right? So you could have stayed in this trade from this point all the way to this point. And what I like about Renko is that it's able to filter out a lot of this insufficient, price action, and you can ignore it, right? You don't have to second guess, oh my gosh, this is going down. Is it actually going to reverse? But if you were on a Renko chart, you would have been able to notice that, okay, it's still trending in an uptrend. So, pro number one, it filters out basically false price action and shows you the overall trend. So, for starters, let's see how we can actually start setting up the Renko chart itself. So, for starters, you're going to be on tradingview.com, and then you're going to go to here. You're going to go to Renko. Now, for all yen pairs, I trade this setting, a 0.25. That means that every single one of these bricks equals 25 pips. 25 pips. So from here to here is 25, here to here is 25, so on and so forth. So that's for yen pairs. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and show you it. It's 0.25, and you need to change your assignment method to the traditional. Most people have it on the ATR. I don't like the ATR. I do it on the traditional, and that is my color scheme if you want to copy it as well. That's for yen pairs, because when you go to non-yen pairs, you want to change the chart because obviously it looks a lot different. So to get a 25, all you have to do is add 2 zeros. So it's 0.0025. Press OK, and then now you have 25 pips per brick. Now each brick is 25 pips, right? So once again, same color settings, traditional 0.0025, that's going to equal 25 pips per brick. So that's how you actually set up the actual chart itself. Now, you do need a TradingView Pro Plus account because I do trade on the 1 hour, and all of my strategies that I will be teaching will also needing a Pro Plus account for the 1 hour chart, because I do trade on the 1 hour chart. That's the chart that I take all my trades on. Now, when it comes to gold, gold is going to be on a flat 3. Flat 3, press OK, and here you have it. And that is going to be a 30 pip each brick. Each brick is 30 pips. For my Forex pairs, I just like doing the 0.25 or 25 pips. And then for gold, I like 30. And then when it comes to your indices, you're going to do it to 30. So right now we're just going over brick sizes, because each different kind of trading instrument is going to have a different brick size. So this is now each brick is 30, right? So you go from here to here, 300, but realistically that's 30. You can already see this trade's pushing to the downside. It's already making profit, in other words. But let's go over why a brick would flip from one direction or one color to another color. Just the market is volatile as of right now. It's about 8 o'clock. It's about New York's open, about a couple hours in. But let's just go to a row of Forex pair. I have to change it back. All right. Sorry, give me a sec. 0, 2, 5, and okay. Perfect. All right, so what makes a brick change from one color to another, right? So why does this happen? Why does it go from a buy brick to a sell brick? And I also will show you in later lessons how to filter out these fake buys and how to filter out Renko bricks so you're only taking the position that you should be taking, right? But for purpose sakes of lesson number 1, we're just going to go over why a brick flips and kind of the introduction to Renko. So why a brick would flip is because it has gone 60 pips in the opposite direction. So in order for it to go from one price to another price, it needs to go to 60, and since we're on the 1 hour time frame, it needs to close on the 1 hour candle chart. Now I don't trade the 1 hour candle chart, but the 1 hour candle chart is what actually closes these new bricks. So for this example, let's go to this candle, this brick, and I'll show you why it actually closed a sell formation. So let's just put a horizontal line here. I'm going to make this green, and then we're going to do this as like a blue line. Why not? All right, so I need to go to the candle June 23rd at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. So we go to June 23rd, which is right here, and we go to 1 a.m. So here's the actual candle, the 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. candle. Now, why did it change to this color? Because it closed 60 pips in the opposite direction, and it closed that price on the 1 hour chart. So now let's go to June 26, 00.00. So here's the candle that closed that buy brick, this 1 o'clock. And then here is the candle that closed that brick. We're going to do it with a arrow to the downside. So it closed this one, made it close the buy, but as you see, this 1 hour candle closed underneath this price. So if it closed here, 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 you can see that these price lows wasn't enough to close a opposite direction Renko brick, but this candle surpassed and closed, right, because the close would be right here. It closed underneath the price of 31,500. So that's why this brick actually closed into a sell position. So whenever it goes, once again, 60 pips from the top to the bottom, it has to be 60, and it has to close that price on a 1 hour chart. So that's going to be a buy to a sell flip example. Now let's go to a sell to a buy. We're just going to take this one, and then we're going to see why this closed as a buy from this brick. So it, once again, it needs to pull back in order for it to change colors. It needs to pull times 2 the brick size, which would be 50, because this is a 25 per brick, to close at a 50, and it needs to close that price of 3,200 on the 1 hour time frame. So let's go to that. We are at June 22nd, 1 o'clock. So let's go there. And then we are looking at June 23rd, 1 o'clock. Easy enough. All right. Let's see here. Let me just find it. June 22nd, 1 o'clock. All right. Perfect. So here it is. Here's that one brick. June 22nd, 1 o'clock. Right here. So it, once again, pulled back 50. Now let's go to June 23rd, 1 o'clock, which is right here. June 23rd, 1 o'clock. So once again, that candle went from this price to here. And why it flipped from a sell to a buy is because that this candle that the arrow is pointing at closed above the needed closing price for it to create a buy, essentially. Let's go over it again. It needs to always go from here, the close price. The close price is the very bottom price of a brick, right? So 31,500 to 3,200 is 50 pips, and it closed that from here to here, and it needs, once again, to surpass this level and close on the 1 hour time frame, which it did. That's why that buy happened, right? So this brick didn't close that buy, this one or this one or this one, but this one did because, once again, it exceeds the price needed to close the buy brick. And that's why that flipped happened from here to here. And that's basically why flips happen. And that will be it for lesson number 1. We went over pros. Now we can go over cons. So cons of Renko trading, and I mean this in the most humble way possible. There's not a whole lot of cons. For me, I don't like candlestick trading, and everyone has their preference. But for me, I don't like the noise. There's a lot of noise in it when it comes to candlestick charting. And for me, I like to see true price action. True price action. So I guess you could say a con of trading Renko is you're not seeing what's actually happening in the market real time. It's always just going to be you're waiting for a flip or you're waiting for closes, right? That's pretty much a con, is you're not in real time seeing what the market is doing, unless of course you just swap to the candle chart, and then you are. Personally, I don't really look at the candle chart. I just stick everything to Renko, and that's that. Okay, now continuing, why does some bricks have one timestamp of June 23rd, June 21st, 7 o'clock, and June 21st, 9 o'clock? So why does it start to close new bricks? And in order for it to close new bricks, basically it needs to go another 25 pips, or your given brick size, and close on the 1 hour time frame. So let's just go ahead and show you an example. So we're going to go, give me a sec, there we go. All right, perfect. And we're going to make that green level for our entry. So I'm going to be looking at June 21st, 7 o'clock, and June 21st, 9 o'clock. All right, perfect. Let's see, where are we? June 21st, 7 o'clock. All right, perfect. So this brick is what obviously created that first sell brick, because it closed. Once again, this candle closed, surpassing that green. And then why that second brick closed is because it went another 30 pips, 25 pips, pardon me, 25 pips to be able to close another brick. So it kind of pulled back. This next candle pulled back to entry, and then This candle is what closed that second brick that we were talking about. Once again, I'm just going to go ahead, do an arrow. This is the candle that closed that additional brick. Let's just go back to it again. June 21st, 9 o'clock. And once again, June 21st, 9 o'clock. So it needed, for that second brick to close, it needed to surpass the close price and closed on the 1 hour time frame. Since we were doing a sell, it needed to close underneath that price, which it did. And that's why it closed a new brick. Let's go ahead and I'll switch to the yen. It's all really the same. And now I will show you a buy example. All right, perfect. Let's just take this one for example, and then take this one for example. All right, so we are going to be looking at June 20th, 21 o'clock, and June 22nd, 3 o'clock. I might have to switch back to remember the times. Okay, let's do the first one, June 20th, 21 o'clock. All right, perfect. So here it is, June 21st, 21 o'clock. And it needed to close, let's go back to that candle, June 22nd, 3 o'clock. So let's go to that. June 22nd, which is this candle. So in order for that candle to close, it needed to go to this price and close above the given price to close one additional brick. Right, I'm hoping that's making sense, that it needs to go on the price and then close to make it happen. Here, this one. This is the candle that closed above that made this additional brick. So if you would have bought here and you held here, you would have made 25 pips. And that's going to be it for lesson number 1. Today we went over pros, we went over cons of Renko trading, we went over brick size for each given kind of pair. Gold, let's go over this one more time. Gold's brick size that I use is a 3. Now you can change this brick size. Just because I'm using a 30 brick doesn't mean you can't use a 1 brick. But I will say this, once we start to learn and I start to teach you my strategies, you'll end up realizing why I trade these specific brick sizes. So 3, once again, for gold. Yen pairs is going to be 0.25 to get 25 pips per brick. Non-US dollar or just non-yen pairs is going to be 0.025 to make it 25 pips. And then for indices, like US 30 for example, it's just 30. And that's brick sizes for you guys. So that's going to be it for lesson number 1. Just wanted to kind of give you an introduction of Renko, why it goes from one color to another color, and why it closes one brick to another brick of the same color. Kind of pros and cons, why I like trading Renko. And that'll be it for today. And that'll be lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, we are actually going to get right to it. We are going to go over my very first strategy that is very beginner friendly. And that'll be lesson number 2. I hope to see you then, and take care.